Hello, welcome to Patch. I'm your host Paul James, and today I'm joined by Matto Phillips and Damo Camilleri, both of whom are poring over their phones because they've got their lists of the top 25 PS1 games, or piece of paper, that we're going to be discussing in this episode.
All of them, Ape Escape. Just putting it out there right now. All of them, all
Front
25
loaded.
on my list is just Ape Escape because it is the best. But no, not really. But something.
It's going to make for a good recording if we're down to 25. Either way, the 25th anniversary of the PlayStation came and went just last week. And we as a group are not prepared enough to kind of foresee that. So once the news kind of got out, we're like, shit, we've already got an episode in the can. Let's push this to next week. So this week now, we've declared it, is the 25th anniversary of the PS1. Because we're the ones that matter, the patch team.
I mean, can I just put it out there? Everyone's giving their best game of the decade.
Yes.
And here's us.
Speaking of ideas that we're going to steal.
The embodiment of you is this idea is just the embodiment of you, Paul.
Yes.
The Sony fanboy, Colin Moriarty right now is going, oi, look, somebody's making a podcast that isn't the fucking, game of the decade. I'm going to watch this. So, Colin, I appreciate it, man. Greatly appreciate you watching us, giving time to the small folks. It's
we love you,
all
Colin.
this man's idea. I don't know what way it gets recorded. So, Paul James, wherever you are.
I'm to your left.
Fruit Ninja or Angry Birds?
Your left, yeah. So, let's talk the top 25 games of all time. Now, I've got a little whiteboard. I'm going to be filling shit up on said whiteboard. I'm also not going to show my hand and see what else is on it. Only so that I remember this when I'm editing stuff later. But we're going to come up with 25 PS1 games between us. So we haven't each worked out 25 unless Damo's got Ape Escape for all 25 of his. But let's go through.
I've got for 24 on mine.
Oh, 24, okay, yeah, sweet. And then Resident Evil 2 for the other one?
No.
Oh. Yeah, good. Buddy Watson, you're a happy man. So, who wants to get the ball rolling with their with the first game to occupy our list? It is not the best game of all time, it is just one of the top 25.
Top 25?
I'm just going to...
I can't even remember 25 PS1
No, but between us, remember? Between us, we're going to have 25. So it's just...
Yes. We've got one person who never owned a PS1. Can we just put Shane Moore Cricket at number 25? No,
Done.
it's higher than 25.
Remember, this is not a rankings list.
No, this is just 25 games on our list. Yeah.
But
Yes, it's just a list of 25 titles in no particular order.
But knowing some people that watch Play 2, they'll probably get the translation of English mixed up and they think they wouldn't even know what Shane Moore Cricket is anyway, so...
It is, outside of Final Fantasy IX, the greatest game ever made. Ryan Betson, I know you're listening.
Someone's just gonna be like, can you effing patch Shane Warne Cricket 99? The game's still glitching. It's like, patches didn't even exist, bro. Oh wait, yeah they did, but not on PlayStation.
It was just the GOAT back then.
The internet didn't exist, or did, but no one knew about internet gaming back then. Everyone was just come over to people's houses. Hey, want to come over and play Shane Warne Cricket? Sure, why not? 6 every time. If you had
So, Matto's already stolen one off my list and got number 25 in there for us. Damo, what else have you got to add to the list?
Well, a classic that I played the crap out of was Cyclone Filter.
Oh, from now, Bend.
Ben? Who's Ben?
Studio Bend. It's
Oh.
PlayStation.
Yes.
The studio that does Days Gone.
Okay.
Yeah, so one thing I remember about that
Trivia.
game is with the little taser thing. Is it a taser?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
You just keep
taser.
holding on to it until they catch fire. That was the best part. It's like this
Good
keeps
times.
happening, I'm like just wait, catch fire. There we go, we're done now. Let's move on to the next person.
Don't kill anyone. Please.
I didn't
On
kill
fire.
him. He just combusted.
It should.
Even though it was nighttime. Even though that was
And it's unlimited range. That was so good. Just like across the maps, you could see like, well, obviously the best
You weren't sure if
of
it was
your
a
ability
you
across
weren't sure if it was a person or
That
not.
fog of war.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw Tony Hawk 2 out there just to get the best Tony Hawk on the list nice and early. It is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is the best of the franchise, without any doubt.
Best. Oh, see.
Now, Matto, you didn't have a PS1, but did you play Tony Hawk 2 on, say, 64 or whatever?
No, I did on 64 and PlayStation.
Oh, right.
I did play on PlayStation. Wasn't as good on 64 though.
Because, I mean, they remastered it a few years ago and they put that on the PS3 and the 360.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a remastered version of... Or was it the first one?
I think
Maybe it was 1 and 2.
1 and 2, maybe.
Either way, yeah, they remastered it a few years ago. But Tony Hawk 2 is... I mean, I'm not a skating guy. It's not really my thing. But, man, did I sink some hours into that.
That was a good soundtrack too.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal.
Well, that, and did either of you or know of the Dave Mirra BMX, freestyle BMX games? It's like this is like this period where I thought I was kind of cool because I was playing games about things that are cool.
The period, and then Kelly Slater came out, and then...
Turns out, not the case.
Yes.
But Dave Mirra was pretty awesome as well.
Dave Mirra was awesome if you...
An awesome soundtrack, like you said.
Well, yeah, if you crashed enough times, you unlocked the grandma, which was awesome. Like, if you just restarted your level enough, you'd unlock the grandma. If anyone can confirm with me that I'm not bullshitting that, I tried for a perfect run and I
hit the comments.
effed up that first run so many times, and then it was like, you've unlocked grandma, and I'm like,
sweet.
Okay.
I meant it all along. So, Matto, throw something else at us. What do you got?
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, yeah, just a solid choice.
Is a very...
oh, solid, is it? Solid choice. You sure it's not liquid?
Or solid. What's the other one? Twin?
Gas?
Gaseous.
Gaseous.
Oh, solidus? It's not solidus.
Yeah, I don't know.
Solidus.
No, it's definitely not Solidus. Did you mess around with Metal Gear back in the day?
I did.
Metal Gear.
I did play Metal Gear back in the day.
Because you two are definitely... I mean, Damo, you're a Metal Gear fan, aren't you?
Tomato sauce.
Metal
That's
Gear.
tomato sauce. That's all I remember, tomato sauce.
Whereas I never messed around with Metal
Oh,
Gear.
yeah, the ketchup. I never
Catsup?
knew how to use it. I just would hide under the
Yeah,
bed.
either someone told me, it's like, I just squeeze on the ground, like, okay.
Oh,
It
do you?
worked. Yeah, I think...
How do you squeeze it on the ground?
I don't know.
Put it on the ground and step on it.
No, you
I
lie on the
guess.
ground and pretend you're dead, and then the guard comes in, you attack him. I don't know, I can't
Fair.
remember. It was like 20 years ago, last time I played it. And then when you finish the game, you got an invisibility cloak. And then you can just play the
Oh,
entire
if
game.
you bitch down on the torture. If you bitch down on the torture, you got the cloak. If you survived, you get the infinity bandana.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, what? I bitched out then.
Yeah, believe me, man, it was a bit of a struggle even with the turbo button.
Just mash. Damo, what do you got?
Well, obviously, I'm gonna say because I don't care if there's a list or whatever. I'm not dumping that, but I will throw in Crash Team.
Was that Crash Team Racing?
Yeah.
Good call. Not, says most people. Not I, because Crash Team Racing is a pile of trash, as I discovered this year.
So's your face, but no one's saying that.
What? You just piled hours into Crash then, or like specifically CTR back in the day?
I mean, all crashes, yeah, I will walk, but no, Crash Team Racing was a lot of fun. I mean, for kids that didn't have a Nintendo, I mean, we didn't have many cartoony racing game options. So you either went to your mate's house to play Diddy Kong or Mario Kart, or you jumped on your PlayStation and you played Crash Team
The inferior product.
Well, some would beg to differ, like me, and like 90% of the world, actually. They all agreed, like, apparently there was a meeting and you guys missed it. Wacky Wheels is the greatest racing type game of all time. It's just, I mean, putting it out there. Still available on Steam. Go buy it.
Oh, really? All right, well, let's go sort that out or something. I don't know Wacky Wheels. I'm going to throw Final Fantasy Tactics out there.
Oh, nice choice.
Because I feel like it's the sort of game that... I mean, you've got some of the core Final Fantasies, and I am not going to let Final Fantasy 9 miss this list. But Tactics, kind of gets forgotten because there's the core games and then there's this. And not a lot of people are big Tactics games fans.
Yeah.
You obviously are.
But it was Yeah, but it took me a while to get into it. But then it was like, oh shit, this is a fantastic, you know, it's a great story. The combat was awesome. It was really different. It was a really different game for that era too. Like,
and then we saw
no, bro.
and then we saw all the Advance Wars and Fire Emblems really start to take off in the years after. Now, obviously, Fire Emblem existed before Final Fantasy Tactics did, but I think Final Fantasy Tactics almost helped get a lot of people in the door and helped blow it up, and then it helped your Fire Emblems and all those sort of things down the line.
Yeah, and
Matto.
then, obviously the releasing or whatever. Completely, we're not going to go off topic. This is the one podcast we're staying on track.
Only because we'll be here all night.
Yes. My next one, I'm going to go with Point Blank.
I remember the name.
Yes!
It's pretty
What,
much
man?
just
Are you?
Time Crisis, except just
Oh,
you get the little gun out.
so it's a light gun game.
Oh yeah. Or you can use the controller. It's 10 times harder if you try to use the controller. It's just... But it was a lot of fun.
It was.
Craziness.
Fair enough.
Dude, all these
Oh, what were the characters' names? Oh, what were the
Cactus?
characters' names?
Characters.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got
I can't
nothing.
remember.
It was the two brothers though, and you can still play it. You can go down to Bartronica in Melbourne and give it a shot. Working arcade.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there's a couple of arcades that are still rocking.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Bartronica
out
could be a
there,
good starting point
if
though.
you want it.
Come to Melbourne, go to Bartronica. You'll have a great time.
Yes, you will.
Damo, you're up. What do you got?
Well, I'm just going to throw it out there now. Ape Escape, phenomenal game. Not only was the demo was amazing. Like, and I mean, we could probably say it 100 times, or we could just fill up the thing with just demo discs from different months.
We'll save that for a separate podcast recording. Best demo discs of all time.
Ape Escape, it's just a phenomenal fun game. Still waiting for that remake. Probably will never happen. But,
They're teasing it though. They even created an account for it on Twitter, and that means it's true.
Almost as true as PlayStation Now.
Yeah, you wait. We'll be talking about this one on Wednesday morning. Wait, do you know what I'm referring to? Are we about to go off on a tangent?
Are we?
This is a time capsule. This was recorded before the PlayStation State of Play on Wednesday morning Australian time. If you go on the PlayStation Store, if you go on the PlayStation Store right now, you can actually see an ad for PlayStation Now. You click on it and it takes you to kind of nothing. But I have no doubt that's there because with the State of Play on Wednesday, it'll be like, and here's PlayStation Now, finally in Australia. Enjoy.
Oh, hey, we figured out your broadband actually works.
Well, yeah. I mean, one of the big issues for them in the past was the fact that they didn't have servers locally, but they installed a giant farm of them in Adelaide, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Giant
So,
farm, eh?
yeah. So I think we're good to go. It big enough to house about 6 cows.
Oh shit! In Australia, that's pretty big, folks.
So, that means it's back to me. Spyro 2, the best of the franchise.
Oof. So I can give you that.
I mean, the first one's awesome. Spyro 2 trumps that. Then Year of the Dragon? Yeah. It's pretty decent. I mean, I loved all of them. When the remaster, the Reignited trilogy or whatever it was called came out back last year, I platinumed all of them. But Spyro 2 is the pick of the litter, no doubt about it. Matto, fire away.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with the game that probably should have been planned at my age. I'm gonna go with Grand Theft Auto 1.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Most people don't really think of GTA 1 or 2 just because they were, totally different game to what became popular on the PS2.
Yeah. I think a lot of people realise it was on PS1 and 2 as well. It was on PC as well, but I played a little bit of it on PS1.
Nice.
And yeah, it's probably not a game for kids, let's be honest, but
I mean, the current games aren't yet. I teach 12-year-olds that are playing it.
Yeah. Get off the Fortnite, kids. Go
Well,
play
yeah.
a real game.
Like GTA,
Like Doom or
The Last of Us.
Grand Theft Auto. Just don't worry about that torture scene. Just
Yeah, don't think too much about it.
yeah, don't.
Damo, speaking of torture scenes, what games didn't torture you? What do you love?
So on the racing genre, I am going to throw in Road Rash. Not Road Rash 3D, just the original Road Rash, with Soundgarden being the soundtrack. Gonna break my Lucy cage and run. Don't give us a copyright strike. That was a terrible rendition.
It was a fantastic rendition, and we haven't even put this on the internet, and I already can see the strike.
Phenomenal game. And I think it, not that it was underrated. I think that it just kind of came at that weird time where memory cards were super expensive, so a lot of people just kind of never really got into it because it was like, but you know, I don't know. Hit us up if you want to talk about. I played that game for hours.
I just remember a day I just had you get the baseball bat, you just do the old backhand, you just go, you're just kicking people into cars and everything, and you just laugh. I don't know why, it's just entertaining.
I mean, we haven't even really delved into proper car combat yet. There's still Twisted Metal that we could potentially discuss.
But then when you go to the finish line, you just get hit by a car, like and just go boom. Run back to the light. Those damn cops.
So next up, I'm going to throw one out there that I only really kind of picked up on in the last couple of years. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Okay, that goes off my list.
And that's simply just, like, I wasn't a crazy Metroidvania person. There was a few that I'd liked along the way, but for the most part it wasn't really my thing. And then was introduced to that, a couple of years ago for one of our video games clubs, and I was on board. So Castlevania Symphony of the Night. There's a lot of people out there who will argue that is the best game on the PS1. Those people are wrong because Final Fantasy 9 exists. But
you can't agree with him. I can't disagree with him. I mean, you can't agree with Paul either. Like, it's a very tough situation we have.
Rock in a hard place.
Counter on every time you've said Final Fantasy 9 is the best or whatever it is. I reckon you've said that many times over patch videos. Like, oh no, Final Fantasy 9 is the best Final Fantasy.
The problem is there's still people that think I'm joking. And those people need to be reminded hundreds upon thousands of times if that's what it takes.
They only remember 7. That's all people care about is 7.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
the most superior Final Fantasy.
15, isn't it?
It's 13.
13.
It's 13, part 3, Lightning Returns.
Lightning Returns?
So, yeah, what, Lightning Returns or 13 specifically?
I've got no idea. All I'm looking at is Final Fantasy 13. I think it was only $5, so I thought I'm buying it.
Look, 13 gets good after about 50 hours.
Oh, great. I can't wait.
If you enjoy Corridors, you're going to love Final Fantasy 13.
I enjoy that 50 hours and get to the good part. Then it doesn't finish after that 50th hour.
No, you get about 20 hours and then it's over.
Oh, God.
And that's only if you don't level, like, that's if you're level grinding. So maybe like 10 hours. Anyway, Matto, what do you got next? Because it's not Final Fantasy 13, that's for sure.
No, it's Crash Bandicoot 2.
Yeah, that's right. I have that on my list.
I'm not putting 1 in because there's a level in there that I
mean,
hate.
Native Forest?
Oh, no, it's the bridge one.
Oh, yeah, the Bridge to Nowhere or something?
Oh, it is a bridge to nowhere. It is. Oh.
I did hate that level.
I don't think I've ever gone back to 1 since. I just gave up, went, no, I'm going on to 2.
I still went through them all when the collection came out, because I was like, people love Crash. I need to try this out, but I never played it back in the day.
Yeah, me either. I played 2, but I never played 1. I can see why I never played 1. I never played 3 either.
It'd be hard to go back after playing 2 and 3.
No, I played it first. I played the first one first, then the second, third.
Yeah, but then, like you said, you didn't finish it. It'd be hard to go back to 1 and try and finish it after doing 2 and 3, because 2 and 3 is so much better.
Yes, they are.
Damo, go for it. I mean, Crash 1's probably the most influential of the lot, of course, but Crash 2's better.
I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there. I did prefer Crash 3 Warp.
Yes, you're not the only one.
I'm not saying it's terrible, I just preferred 2 for some reason.
No, that's not,
Hey, this is the definitive list.
One is, like, iffy, because you can't do, like, the quick, there's not a real speedy kind of effect on it. Whereas 2 and 3 kind of went, yeah, we should probably fix that thing. But I
Number 1 has native forest, and I made that my bitch. It's pop culturists' lore and history at this point. It was the greatest stream that there ever was, because I abused their audience for the next 45 minutes after they all said, it's a really hard level, you can't do it, you're not going to be able to do it. Then I did it first go and I just hurled abuse at them repeatedly. But also they gave me footy score updates, and that was handy.
And you turned on it.
I did turn on it.
And then you turned on it.
Oh no, I turned on it and then they, like gluttons for punishment, kept coming back for more.
Sorry, Paul. Oh, please, we'll tell you the footy score.
Tom Hawkins just kicked a goal. Yes! Alright, wait, that was Crash 2, that was Matto. Damo,
Did Damo just say something? Oh, no, sorry, we were distracted.
you're up.
What
I
did he
just
say
said
again?
Crash Bandicoot 3.
Oh, sorry, we're adding that as well. Sorry, I thought
He said Crash Bandicoot 2. I said Crash Bandicoot 3.
Sorry, I thought that was still part of the conversation. I didn't realise Crash 3 was on the list. Okay, so it's back to me then.
No.
Alright, I'm just going to throw it in there now just to get it all out of the way. Final Fantasy 9.
Oof.
Put that out on the counter.
Nothing else needs to be said. It's the greatest game ever made. And there's no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. So we'll see you next time. That's the end of this episode. Matto, go for it.
The other 12, whatever.
Yeah, we've got numbers 1 through to 10 to go.
I'm going to put Driver in
Oh,
there.
wait.
I did write Driver on the list as well.
Oh,
Good
what
call.
Driver?
Did we all have
I
that?
completely forgot about that. Oh, damn.
The
Wait,
old-
Driver 1 or 2? I suppose
never
1
played
was
2.
more iconic.
So you're saying 1? What'd you
I'm
say?
going to say 1 because I never played 2.
Done. Driver
Yeah.
1.
I think 2 was definitely, like, I think, like, a more polished game, but, like, there's no way it would have existed without, like, the massive assistance of 1 being
Oh
what it
yeah.
was.
The old cheat of getting the cops off your back is to put on the brakes and go. Cops gone. It was the greatest. It's
I love
fantastic.
that game so much.
I was
Man,
saying
this is like...
the steering on that was. I remember it wasn't great.
Oh yeah, but I mean it's PS1.
Wait, I had it written.
Hell, wouldn't the first one have been before the dual stick? Sorry, the analog stick as well.
I don't think so. What year did it come out? I thought it was like 98, 99. No, when did the second one come out? Was that?
I don't remember.
No, not Driver 2. I mean the PS2.
I suppose. Oh,
The 2000,
yeah, PS2 was 2000.
97?
Yeah, PS2 was 2000.
Maybe 97. So it might have been around the time. I don't even know when the DualShock came out.
Yeah, I don't know when they brought the analog stick in because there was that period where and it came in and Damo's already mentioned Ape Escape, but there was no
The analog stick.
analog stick until Ape Escape came along.
Yeah, you would have been screwed if you didn't have that.
So we can kind of date things back to Ape Escape's release, and that's anything that came out before that, no analog stick by default.
Hey, Google.
Eh, go on.
No,
But
no, bugger.
Damo, number 9 on the list as we're counting down. What do you got?
Oh god.
Oh, wait, so how many am I allowed to choose? Like, how many more have I got left? Like, 3 or 2?
1,
I'm running out.
Damo. At least 3. And then, I mean, there's 3 of us divided by 25, so there's going to be 8 each, and then 1 left over that we'll just have to fight to the death over.
Definitely. Well, do we have to?
Well, maybe that
Well,
could just be like
it's a good
one
point.
honorable
It's got to be Croc 2, Legend of the Gobbos. Can I just add that in there at number 1 now?
mention. Oh, man,
Sorry.
This is tough because I've got like a whole bunch of like good games here.
We'll have to debate it
look,
amongst
I'm-
ourselves afterwards.
Well, I'm running out of
Ah,
games. So
Okay.
I think I've only got
Matto's
I'm
going to
gonna
nominate.
throw Jono-
Matto's going to nominate Croc 2 regardless.
I'm going Gex.
All right, we'll get back to Gex shortly.
But I'm gonna nominate Dino Crisis 2. I thought that game was fantastic. It wasn't as spooky and scary as the first Dino Crisis, but it definitely was just this really, really, really fun game.
And they need to remake those just like the Resident Evil games at the moment.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think they're working on it. I've been told.
There's been rumours, but
on the room. Yeah, I was gonna say on the rumor mill. So that's.
I think there's people trying to will that into existence because of all the Resident Evil stuff. But they're clearly busy with Resident Evil 3. That will be another thing that we learn at State of Play in about 24 hours from when this episode goes live.
so hard. There's so many good games.
So, Matto, you've already said Gex, so I've got to jump in there with mine, and then we'll be back to Damo again.
Gex in there.
Oh, you are? You're not using Gex? Okay.
No, joking. I said put that at number 1.
Right. Damo, we need to have some. This is like a draft now. Are you going to mention Final Fantasy 7? Or am I?
I want to so badly, but there's so many other games. Okay, yes, I will have to because it's.
Oh, I can take care of it. I can take care of it. Hang on, I'll take care of it. It's alright, I'll take care of it now. Final Fantasy 7 is on the list via me. Again, not much needs to be said about Final Fantasy 7.
You heard it.
It's one of the greats. So
Better than 9.
stop whispering, mate. Your headphones are your audio source. It's not as good as 9.
Paul finally admits that Final Fantasy 7 is classified as a fucking better game than Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah, but only by people who are wrong. Only by people who are wrong. But anyway, Matto, so you didn't select Gex, so what are you selecting?
Tekken.
Oh yeah, which one?
I don't know if 2 or 3. I can't remember. Which one's got Eddie in it?
Damo, you'd be better for this.
I know Eddie's definitely in 3.
He's not in 2, is he?
He's probably in 2 as well.
I'll go 2.
Tekken 2.
It was good.
I reckon I played 2 more than I did 3.
Fair enough.
Yeah, 2 was a lot
I'll
of
go
fun.
stick with 2.
3 went a bit weird with Gong.
That stupid tiger.
Tiger.
Damo, back to you. You don't have to select Final Fantasy 7, so what have you got?
Okay. There's no Sport can list. Oddworld. Honestly,
Oh yeah.
out of like, now this is the tough part of like, it's like debating what games I love more, but also at the same time it's like, well, I can't just 100% guilty pleasures list this. So yeah, Oddworld I definitely think was one of those games that was a very different kind of strategy and platforming and the puzzle solving kind of ordeal, and I think it just came out of a good time and people still talk about it and still getting its dues. Yeah, Oddworld.
Alright, so the last JRPG that I'm going to throw out there, and I'll still have one more game left after this, but the last JRPG I'm going to throw out there is Suikoden 2. Though, I suspect, do either of you two know those franchises at all? Yeah. Still very niche, but one of the best JRPGs ever made, let alone on the PS1. Matto. This is our last rotation now of the three of us, and then there's one game left over.
Bubsy 3D. No.
Holy shit.
That's stupid. I'm officially out of games.
You got nothing to throw? What do we got? I mean, you could talk Gran Turismo, you could talk Tomb Raider, you could talk... There's other bits...
too much Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay.
Gran Turismo.
To be fair, I was just suggesting games that I would have mentioned anyway, that way I can get an extra one on the list.
Put Croc in there?
Not yet. Do it.
Man, nah.
Hey, if...
Oh, now it's getting
But-
it's too much pressure.
Buddy Watson is, like, lifting the table in front of him right now. That's a fair list. You can cross off Final Fantasy 7.
If it's been 3.
Hot Pursuit, man.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Hot
That was
Pursuit.
good.
So are we going with Croc 2?
Croc 2? Sure, why not?
Croc 2, Legend of the Gobbos. It definitely does not belong on this list.
I gave you a list. I gave you a list. Why would you do this to me? There were so many choices. You could have done Tenchu. Anything.
Because Croc was the PS1's knack. Croc is to the PS1, knack is to the PS3. So Damo, what have you got next? Because I think Matto's basically done now, so it might be you and me sharing these last two. Or the last three, sorry.
I'm gonna throw out Tomb Raider 3.
Yeah, right.
Out of all the Tomb Raiders, I really like that one. Maybe it was a bit more polished for my ability as a kid. Obviously, 3 would not have existed without 1 and 2, being great games as well. But 3 was an amazingly great pixelated game. Lara Croft. It's great. It's great to see that she's taking on a more human-like form in today's games versus her gravity-defying, pixelated,
nature-defying,
eye-gouging titties. I just really wanted to say titties in the best possible way possible.
Yeah, as respectful as you can be, only to drop that phrase at the end. So I did have a Tomb Raider on the list. I had 2, actually, in my case, but I'm happy for Tomb Raider 3 to be the one. So it leaves me with only a couple games. I'm going to go Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. So this is an Amy Hennig game. She went on to go do Uncharted and the like, and was going to be working on, Ragtag, the Star Wars game. But RIP. Soul Reaver is fantastic, and I need to see that franchise come back. And Square Enix can make it happen. So if they could do it, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, let's make it happen. Damo.
Yes.
There's what, Matto. Unless you've got something to throw up here, do you have any games that spring to mind?
Papa Rapper the Rapper.
Oh, good game.
Because
Really
we've got
good
one spot
game.
left. We've got one spot on the list left.
I only just googled it there. No, I got nothing.
Yeah. Nah, Papa the Rapper. We can think. I mean, it's a great game. It's definitely a thing. And Bust a Move, those games out there. I feel
we could all throw a game out there and then just decide which one fills the last spot.
I'm gonna
So we
say
can choose
Tenchu. I
yeah?
think Tenchu was an amazingly fun game. I think it definitely
Tenchu
led to
1
the
or
lead. Yeah, just Tenchu 1. It's led to your Blood Bowl. It's led to your Bloodborne. It's led to your your Dark Souls. It's led to your Assassin's Creed. It's definitely a huge for your Star Wars. But I feel like that's a foundation. It wasn't a Souls game, but it was definitely one of those games that encapsulated that kind of stealth combat, pick and choose your targets and things like that. It wasn't really tough, but it definitely was. It was up there with being a bit more difficult than
Yeah, it was a little bit rough at times.
Back.
You pushed back.
Yeah. And then you punched in the cheat codes and got all the weapons.
Yeah. Just circumvent everything and break the game. It's awesome.
We were kids when that game was out. So we cheated.
How far we've come. So, Matto, you suggested Parappa. Admittedly, just via a quick Google search, but you suggested Parappa.
I found a better one.
Oh.
Number 1.
Go on.
It's got to be number 1. It's Pepsi Man.
What the fuck is Pepsi Man?
Chicken butter. What?
It's more like the Chic Hydro Man from the Game Awards.
You don't know what Pepsi Man is?
I don't think I know what Pepsi Man is.
I'm outraged. Of course, you're a fucking Coke drinker. Why wouldn't you know? The superior character.
Fuck off.
The superior game from the superior freaking beverage. All right.
Coke didn't need to make a drink because they were better than that. Sorry, a
drinking...
game because they're better than that.
You know what? Milo made a fantastic video game. It was called Milo Fuel Run. So if you want to, comment on what makes a better game, think. They took inspiration from Milo.
I don't drink Milo either.
No, neither do I. I think Milo's a terrible drink. Outside of Milo products as a whole, fantastic. Their drink, rat shit. I don't care. Call me un-Australian. I'm a wok. Eat it. But this is Pepsi Man.
Yusugrade made a game too. It was called Age of Empires. That was good.
No, they just distributed a game, and it's... Oh, here we go.
They made that game. They made that game. They made it come back for all us
No one
kids.
knew what it was before Yusugrade got their hands on it.
So then I had a couple extra games to throw in the mix for discussion.
Okay.
One of them was not one that I I guess maybe you can probably strike it from the list straight away, but its influence is kind of huge. Gran Turismo is worth considering.
It is.
And then I mentioned Chrono Cross because it's a sequel to Chrono Trigger, and Chrono Trigger is amazing, and so is Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I've got a little box here of 5 games that we've mentioned: Gran Turismo, Chrono Cross, Tenchu, Pepsi Man, and Parappa.
We just ruined it.
And then we go and select AFL 99.
Oh yeah.
Get
How did I forget
out.
that?
Because if we're going to select a sports game, it's NHL 99. Because you know what? You
Yes.
can you can turn off the referees, so there's like, you know, slap face and it just brawls every 5 seconds. You can press triangle when you get a goal and it goes and sets the fireworks off, or the air horn, and it was great because you used to just like swear, like used to.
We could put
Saying.
we could put Dave Mirror in there.
We can put Medieval, Skull Monkeys,
Oh,
and
jeez.
Vigilante 8, Die Hard Trilogy, and Gex the Gecko in there too.
Oh, hang on now. Damo, you've had
What?
Gex on your list. Matto,
Yes.
you had Gex on your list.
I did.
And I had Gex on my list.
Yes.
Now Gex was right on the bottom of my list, but if all three of us have suggested Gex, maybe we should put Gex on the list to go proudly alongside Croc 2, Legend of the Gobbos,
God, I swear
and
to
Pepsi
God.
Man. Pepsi Man's not on the list. Do we go with Gex? Enter the Gecko.
Sure,
Yes.
yeah, why not?
Gex,
It's a
Enter the Gecko.
fantastic game. Fantastic. Its graphics weren't great and the controls weren't phenomenal, but it was so
What
much.
was back then?
I played it on a 64, but
Omega Boost was a fantastic controls back then, and Medieval had fantastic controls. Final Fantasy VII, fantastic controls.
it's alright, we already put it on
Were
the
they,
list.
were they better than 9?
No.
Oh yeah, much better. More refined, even though 9 came out later. Did 9
Alright.
ever go platinum?
Yes. Yes.
Did it go
Yeah,
double platinum?
like 40 years later.
Did it
No.
get a remake? No.
Less than a year later. Give it time, my friend. Give it time. All right, so let's go through the list of 25. Counting down
Okay.
from number 1 in no particular order, but let's, for the sake of it, say that this is the best ranked game of all time, according to us. Gex, Enter the Gecko.
Yep.
Number 2, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. Number 3, Tomb Raider 3. Number 4, another classic, Croc 2, Legend of the Gobbos. Buddy, that's for you.
Game cricket's way too low on this.
Suikoden 2, number 5. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, number 6. Tekken 2 at number 7. Final Fantasy 7 at number 8. Dino Crisis 2 at number 9.
Final Fantasy 7 at 7.
Yeah. Dino Crisis 2 at number 9. Driver number 1 at number 10. Final Fantasy 9 at 11. 12 and 13. Crash 3 and Crash 2, respectively. Number 14, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Road Rash at number 15. GTA 1 at 16. Spyro 2 at 17. Ape Escape at 18. 19 is Point Blank. 20, Final Fantasy Tactics. 21, Crash Team Racing. 22, Metal Gear Solid. 23, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. 24 is Siphon Filter. And 25, the greatest game of all time, Shane Warne Cricket 99. That was a hell of a list.
I was gonna say, if we make front page of anything like 3 idiots name 25 best PS1 games.
And instantly exit the
Restore
internet.
Shane Warne's career.
3 man refused to put Pepsi Man on top 25 best.
John Cena's going to be furious.
Bum, 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 bum.
Why's John Cena
He's
going
a big Pepsi
Shane Warne
Man
Cricket 99 fan, and he thought it was too low on our list. So, any last closing thoughts about all things PlayStation, not just the PS1? 25 years of PlayStation. What's our favourite game that's been released on a PlayStation platform? Question without notice. Favourite game on a PlayStation platform over the course of the 25 years that PlayStation has been a thing?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I'd have to say Metal Gear 1. Metal Gear Solid. Out of all the games I've ever played, I think I went
On
back to that one.
all PlayStations, just to be clear.
On all PlayStations across the board. I think that was a huge step in the right direction for my
VGR games.
playing and things like that. Like, honorable mentions definitely go out to like Zone of the End as the second runner, which
It's a
one of my
PS2
favorite
game.
games of all time, is my favorite game of all time.
On the
Final
PS2.
Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7, definitely Crash Bandicoots and other, even Medieval and Road Rash and things like that. But I just, like, Metal Gear Solid just started something beautiful, so it goes
That's
to
fair. Matto, what else you got across all things PlayStation? 1,
I
2,
reckon if
3,
I
or 4.
played-
Or Vita.
I reckon-
Long may it live.
Vita.
And the PSP. And the PS2. PSP as well, I guess.
I only owned a PlayStation for 3.5 years.
Oh, here we
I got
go.
a
He's
P- I
gonna.
got a-
You watch. He's gonna drop the camera.
I got a PS3
Oh.
3 years after the PS4 got released. I reckon if I played God of War, the new one, I'd probably say that, but I haven't
Do
played
it.
yet.
Oh,
Do it.
damn.
Or just get PlayStation now.
I'm gonna say Uncharted 2.
As the best game. Yeah.
I've played, so
It's not even the best in its franchise. Uncharted 3 is the best.
yeah.
But I can appreciate how wrong you might be.
And let's
Yeah, let's
just
Final Fantasy 9, man.
channel Paul's energy. I'm getting The Last of Us 2. That's his favorite game.
No, because remember, Final Fantasy 9 is the best game on the PlayStation platform. We've established this. But no, I guess if we isolate that and my incredible bias towards that,
Order 1884, 86.
6. But a damn good game, underrated. But
Big time.
no,
Time.
yeah, that's all it is. Quick time events, and like so combat. So yeah, beyond Final Fantasy 9, it's definitely The Last of Us. But like that. But you know, with a fair bit of stiff competition, because there is The Witcher 3, there is God of War from last
Yeah,
year,
but I'm
and
only looking at PlayStation only games. If I said The Witcher 3, then that's. I was trying to
yeah,
PlayStation
I can appreciate
only
that.
That's the tricky one because I mean Horizon Zero Dawn's definitely up there too. But I mean
But that's okay because it's PlayStation only.
yeah, no.
Oh,
But no.
Sorry, viewers.
It's a tough question to ask you, like the best game across all platforms. But like, you know, people are probably like, oh man, Metal Gear Solid 2 was a lot better. I prefer to have rated it.
But influential.
You weren't
Yeah.
Snake.
Yeah,
That's
you're
all
right,
the
man.
entire game was play as Snake, and I got Raiden instead. Upset. And then all he does is you chop swords, you cut watermelons in a later game.
Oh yeah, Rising, Revengeance.
Metal Gear Rising. Is it Vengeance?
Revengeance. Because video game naming customs. So I think that wraps this one up. We've done a lot of PlayStation talk. We'll talk more about other PlayStation things at different points. I have no doubt about it. The Game Awards. The Game Awards is this week, so I'm sure there'll be things to discuss from that.
That's not the gaming Logies, is it?
The gaming Logies, except the Logies is a shit show. The Game Awards is not, except for when the
Is that the one
chick
where
Hydra
people-
Man rocks up.
This
Is that
is
the one where people
this
vote?
is the
Yes, people could vote. The big publications have voted as well. They contribute. The public contribute like 10% of the vote. And
last year.
then Resident Evil 2 goes on to win Game of the Year.
no. This isn't the one where like Fortnite.
Oh yeah, we didn't put Resident Evil
This isn't
at all
that.
in the
I
list.
think that's the goal. Yeah, but that's because they created the game.
Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Please end the podcast now.
I will. So on that note, that concludes this week's episode of Patched. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down the bottom. If you're a podcast listener, subscribe, share it with your friends, and get it out there.
And your parents.
Hunt you down.
But specifically on YouTube, there is episodes of more patched. There's the Insider, Player 2 Plays, like Game Review, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Matto knows, like, he bounces the head exactly to my script. Visit the website player2.net.au where you find reviews and previews, opinion pieces, news features, the Player 2 Writer's Draft, links to the podcast, Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, where Sadistic Santa is going up this week. I'm recording that in about 20 minutes from now, so that'll be... he gave me one hell of a piece of trash to play. I asked for Divinity Original Sin 2. I did not get Divinity Original Sin 2.
Gets a copy of Anthem.
I'm not going to go there
It's only $5.
because reasons.
Go get it.
Because reasons being Dev Diary, a podcast that you can subscribe to as well. It's my little baby, and there might be someone that has something to do with Anthem coming up in the next few
I
months.
take that back. I'm sorry.
Um,
Can I have a free game?
it's recorded and good to go. So
Oh, dear.
you'll see that in about a month from now, but we'll talk more about that when the time comes. Patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks. At the lower tiers, you get early access episodes, higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives, and then there's Twitter, Damo, you are at. We've lost him. Tacos Talks. Oh, the video's doing its thing again. Yes. Oh no, there he is. He's back. Matto, you're at.
Matto_Phil.
For me, it's Paul James Games. The website is Player2AU. Don't worry, Damo, you are back. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Oh,
Croc 2, Legend of the Gobos, best game ever made. Bye bye.
Pepsi Man.